Hey, JP here. Haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm pretty rusty at it. You'll forgive the kind of scatterbrained approach. But I just finished doing this. It's at the top of my mind, and I wanted to document it for mostly my purposes, but also anyone else who might find it useful, those of us with teleprompters at least. I use a teleprompter for chat so that when I address chat, I see the text and that is what's on the teleprompter screen. So it looks like I'm looking at chat when I'm talking to people, right? But one pain point of mine has been that when I'm looking at the chat, I don't see myself in frame, right? So I don't know if my eyes are really locked onto the lens, or if when I gesticulate and make expressions, if it's being expressed the way that I want it to in frame or even in focus. So I devised this way of just showing the chat and seeing myself at the same time. And it looks a little bit like this. So on OBS, it's very simple. It's just a teleprompter scene with your webcam behind it, but there's a transparency effect behind the Twitch chat. And it's very, very easy to do. I don't know why I didn't bother doing this before. Just some CSS, which I'm going to share in the description below, and show you also what it looks like in actual production. In OBS, all it is like I said earlier, just one teleprompter scene. You can see here I've got teleprompter set up here with two sources, the Twitch chat as well as your webcam, obviously, behind it. The Twitch chat is just your pop-out Twitch URL, so twitch.tv/popout/yourchannel/chat. And then you're going to want to make it 920 by 1080 or whatever your viewport is. And you're going to want to copy paste all of this custom CSS. Copy paste from the description. Once that's done, I'm going to showcase what happens here actually. Without a chroma key, even with the chats coming on screen and with the transparency CSS effect, I hold up my hand here, you can kind of see that the lines of the chat, the background is still black. So when that goes over my face, it defeats the purpose. I'm not going to be able to see my face again. So to fix that, we just set up a chroma filter, a chroma key, and it's just black. Make the similarity, smoothness, and key color spill reduction 1, and that fixes that. I don't know why the selector didn't work. You can see I have a custom CSS catch-all selector for every element that uses a background color. Maybe the version of Chromium that OBS uses for its browser source isn't really using the same approach of displaying chat. I don't know. I'm not a developer, so I can't really say for sure, but in whatever case, the chroma key filter does work. Then you're going to want to put your webcam behind your teleprompter chat. And what I do as well is I just do a flip horizontal, right? So that when I hold up my left hand, visually to me, it's on the left side of the screen. When I hold up my right hand, visually to me, it's on the right hand of the screen. Obviously, the chat and audience, they're not going to see any difference because they shouldn't. Like, unless you want things to be flipped around for the viewer, sure. But for me, it makes it easier to get that point of reference, right? And to see myself correctly in frame as how I want to show up. So again, that's just transform, flip horizontal. And that's about it. You're going to want to do a full screen projector of the scene onto your teleprompter display. So right click teleprompter, you're going to want to do full screen projector and then choose the display that your teleprompter is. Mine is the A6 Plus. So when I put it on the A6 Plus, it'll just full screen like this. So down below there, you can kind of see a little bit of a, browser. That's just so that I can respond to chat with chat. Sometimes, people ask for links or commands or whatever, or sometimes you just want to type in chat. So I have that there so that I can respond. Your face is fat, right? And there, you can see how as the chat scrolls down towards my webcam or on top of my webcam, I can still see chat, I can still see myself. And like I promised earlier, I was going to give you some cell phone footage to showcase what it looks like in person from your streaming chair. Well, my streaming chair. I don't know what your setups look like. Hopefully your setups are a little bit less convoluted and cleaner than mine. But in my case, I have OBS out here on a side monitor, vertical side monitor, and the stream manager down below it. The game is being output to my main monitor, and of course the pièce de résistance, the teleprompter. I have what's normally used as a camera monitor hooked up to my graphics card output so that I can get the feed directly from the PC instead of using like a phone or a tablet, and that would introduce delay and whatnot. I had this lying around anyway, so I'm repurposing it for streaming purposes. And of course, the teleprompter itself. Literal cheapo from Amazon named prawn store porn star teleprompter. It's, it does the job, but it's a little small, right? So I'm going to bring the camera back closer to my face, like from where I'm sitting. This is not an accurate representation of what it should look like to you because it's going to appear tiny on the video, but I can still read it because the font size and the color, they are large and contrasty. We set the color through CSS, we set the size through CSS, and we filtered out any background through CSS as well as the chroma key filter in OBS. And that's what it looks like. Now, again, this is just a teleprompter for my viewing purposes, right? So I can read chat and see myself, but chat is not going to see any of that. I'm going to show, hang on, why don't we put it up on the big screen? So yeah, this is what chat sees. They just see a normal stream, right? Because we're not capturing the teleprompter scene and outputting that to OBS or to Twitch or wherever you're streaming to. You are only capturing the game and whatever overlay elements that you actually want to use. And the teleprompter scene is there just to be output and projected onto your external monitors. I say monitors because I have two of them. Aside from the teleprompter, I also have this bigger monitor down here, and you don't need this. This is just for me to be able to see what I'm typing back to chat, right? Because obviously from back here, yeah, I can read chat, but my text that I'm typing in the text input field on Twitch, that's, I can't see that. I need to be like freaking Hawkeye to be able to see that. So I have this second screen here, which is just connected to the computer via an HDMI splitter, right? So the same feed that is being sent to the monitor is also, or rather the projector is also being sent to this monitor. It's not processed through the computer at all. It's just a dumb splitter. And that's essentially how I've got my setup working. I feel it'll bring out a little bit more of a more engaging performance from me, because then I can accurately see how my expressions and my reactions and my gesticulations, my gestures, what I'm doing with my hands are showing up for the audience to enjoy. So yeah, hope this helps. I don't know how useful it will be for the vast majority of Twitch streamers because I know teleprompter chat is still very niche, although it's becoming more and more accessible with the right tools. Yeah, if it helps you, let me know. And if it helped me in the future because I forgot everything about this, then pat myself on the back because I made this video for myself mostly. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, see you guys.